Hi friends, host Eric here, host talking with famous people, and I'm gonna make somebody's day today. I'm gonna talk about him. uh, he's probably not gonna like what I have to say, but I get. Don't just save your "don't feed the troll" comments, okay? Just don't, it's like because it's links to something that I talked about last night on a live stream. I listened to it today. It was actually really quite good, although I repeated myself a little bit. So, like, I was kind of frustrated at myself for this one section where I kept repeating how he had, where he was positioned argumentationally, but only explained less exactly why, which is, of course, because he's double bound himself argumentationally when he came out and said he's playing all these fake characters and stuff, and that I got you, Eric. It was, of course, the worst move he could have made argumentationally because he loses all of his credibility then. So and then when he leaves a comment like this, given the existing pile of arguments, it will always backfire on him because I'm going to respond to this. Now you might say, "Oh, it didn't backfire because it got your attention." But really, I want to sort of demonstrate how the rhetoric works, right? So, um, Club ENTP, when you say you should retitle this "Narcissist on Shrooms Relentlessly Attacking Club ENTP," are you playing a character, or is that really you saying that? I don't know. Are you lying or telling the truth? Because Club ENTP wants to position his extended program of lying that he claims to be engaged in as simply an art project, and he's just playing characters. Of course, he doesn't get that that's not gonna get him out of it, right? Because I'm talking to you. This is me, Eric. You know who I am, and I'm not anybody else. And if I am playing a character, you already know I'm playing a character. I'm not trying to fool you, right? So on a couple of occasions, I go to CJ's stream and pretend to be Mindy, but everybody there knows that it's me, right? So it's kind of a shared joke we're having. I'm not really trying to fool anybody. Um, and there's not any other examples of me ever doing that. So obviously, when you hear me talking, you know what you're getting, right? You're getting the authentic presentation of self that you always get from me, which sometimes is appealing, sometimes is unappealing, sometimes is kind of mean, sometimes is feeling more more well in general, and therefore more patient, whatever. And I do feel that way today after having taken mushrooms yesterday because they do have that kind of impact on you. It's like I'm not into the magic of whatever, right? But it is true with mushrooms that, from my experience, that you, for a couple of days afterwards, things seem calmer. You kind of like get more stuff done, even though you're spending less energy, and I'm making more conscious choices about what I'm doing, and less just sort of on thwackage autopilot. Anyhow, so the reason it's important that we choose our words carefully, Chloe HB, is because in this comment here, you called me a narcissist, more or less, right? You didn't exactly call me a narcissist, but I can't imagine any other rationale for the claim that I should retitle it Narcissist on Shrooms, that doesn't include you asserting that I'm a narcissist, right? So that's a lie. At best, it's a slanderous, unwarranted wrongness. Okay? I guess at the very best, you're just playing a character. You don't mean a word of it. It's just a character you're playing, right? But this is why you're double bound. Because nobody should ever take you seriously in anything you say or trust you about anything because of the modality you have claimed as your own, which is in some fashion, no matter how many coats of paint you put on it, its engine is deception. So when you publicly proclaim that to people, you end up with this mess, right? Who and how should take this seriously? Who should honestly believe I'm a narcissist? You say I was relentlessly attacking you. First of all, you were not on anybody's minds until you showed up and started provoking. Nobody was talking about you at all or thinking about you at all. Until you showed up and started provoking. And yes, I saw the truth unusually clearly last night and lectured you in a rather condescending fashion. If you want to call that an attack, call it an attack. But, if that's an attack, it's what I said in the video last night is absolutely correct. The problem you have is that you don't understand what matters. And I have an equally big problem, which is I don't understand what I want. But in this forum, in the public forum, not knowing what matters is it's the wrong path. It leads you to the wrong path. And not knowing what you want leads you to a path in which you're under rewarded for sure. But if you don't know what matters in a larger sense, then, that would be maximally exemplified by what you did narratively and how you're now incurring the consequences of it. Which is to say, you traded your permanent credibility for a missed sniper shot at me, right? And whether it was as extended and planned as you say, or whether it was just something you kind of made up to cover your ass because you had your feelings hurt or something like that, it doesn't matter why you said it, or even if it's true, because what it says is that I, Club ENTP, operate via the mechanism of deception, so you should afford me no credibility. And now here you come in doubling down. So even if it were the case that I were a narcissist, which I definitely am not, because I can be held accountable. Narcissists can't be held accountable. Now, it is true that I've yet to see you be held accountable for anything, but it doesn't mean I'm accusing you of being a narcissist. Regardless, there are ample examples of me being held accountable by multiple parties, including a very recent one where I made an apology video for Winston's mom because I was mean. You came into the stream, and this is how you began provoking. You said, "Where's Winston's mom?" Because you don't care about her feelings at all. You don't care about her as a person. You weren't worried or concerned about her. You were trying to provoke me or attack me. So the hilarious irony here is, this is like what I was saying last night. Don't try to perform brain surgery on yourself, and don't try to advocate for yourself, especially if you keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole. You came to the live stream, to my live stream, okay, to attack me. And it didn't go like you wanted it to at all. Because I didn't even read the goddamn thing he said. I just condescendingly lectured you for hours on a lot of different subjects. And that's not attacking you. I mean, there's nothing inherently more wrong with you than there is with me. Remember that everybody has attentionally just as much quantity of deficit. But situations matter. Circumstances matter. You want to position yourself in places where your attentional habits are going to be well served by the nature of the ecosystem. Your attentional habits plus whatever, if you have something else going on, I don't know. It's like, look, I'm not one to use pathologization as an attack. That's why even when I'm talking about what's going on with you, because obviously there's clearly something going on here with you, because I've given no indication that I am interested in playing with you, right? In fact, I've given plenty of indication that I'm not interested in playing with you. And yeah, you continue to come around my channel and spend time on my live streams and comment and try to provoke and stuff. And being an extremely egalitarian person, an extremely principled person, even though it's pretty obvious to me at this point that you're, it's my opinion, I can't justify this entirely, but that you're motivated primarily by spite. Even though that's pretty obvious to me, well, it's like, I wonder if you know why you like to watch my channel so much. Because you do. Or you wouldn't be here all the time. So, and that's part of the double bind too. You come to attack me, it doesn't go the way you want, and you claim I'm a narcissist attacking you. You're doubling down on the lies. I mean, at some point you can't continue to rely on, well, this is my interpretation or something, when you're patently lying. And there's something fundamentally wicked about pathologizing somebody as dark triad without even justifying it, right? The fact that you felt attacked, remember, at any point during that stream, you could have left. I was not asking you to stay. I certainly wasn't compelling you to stay. And if you felt attacked, why didn't you leave? Do you see the problems that you have narratively? Because the best thing you can claim right here is that, I was just playing a character when I said that. And I fooled Eric again, because he responded to it as though that was really what I meant. But, it's like, okay, well, every time, even if you could pull that off, which you can't now because I just spiked it out by anticipating it, but regardless, even if you could pull that off, it would be just making the same mistake again, trading a little short-term payoff for a permanent loss of credibility. And does credibility matter? Yeah, because it's not even about expertise or anything. Credibility that I'm talking about is more basic than that. It's, are you basically an honest person, or are you basically a liar, And if somebody's basically a liar, there's almost never any good reason to communicate with them. Because You can't trust what they say. So, I hope that clarifies things. Yes, the message I just gave is the exact same message I was giving to you last night. Was in fact delivered last night in a somewhat more onerous fashion. Uh, but the other thing I remember is when you first got there, I told you exactly what I was going to do, that you wouldn't like it, and that you probably shouldn't stick around for it. And you ignored me. So, anyway, I just thought that this was a good example to talk about how people can get into cascading discursive collapse, right? Like, but that the most important thing to do in terms of argumentation and discourse is just don't lie. Don't use deception as a technique, and you can't lose the whole moral high ground on that issue. Uh, and you can't lose people's trust and credibility then. But even if let's say you do lie, don't publicly confess to it. It's a bad idea, because people can always bring that up and say, okay, well, on this occasion you publicly confessed to lying. How is this circumstance different from that one? What made you lie that time that's absent this time that makes it so that we could trust you? That's the problem with such things. So, anyhow, it if you can hear this and learn from it, great. If you can't and you just want to leave a shitty comment, fine. But it's not, you're doing yourself no good whatsoever. And if you dislike me so much, then any normal person over this, I think any perfectly reasonable and healthy reaction to disliking someone a lot is to want to not be around them. And it does seem like you dislike me a lot. So, why do you want to be around me? But whatever. Have fun. Do whatever. I don't care. That didn't help.